Safe.
We made it.
Anybody hurt? Okay, here we are, Wes. We made it. We made another broadcast. We're here.
That needs to be turned up more, I think.
Okay, here.
Yeah, we didn't hear the crowd cheering for you.
There you go. Okay. Well, welcome to our live stream today. We are coming to you from Atascadero, California, and it's a beautiful day here. We've been gone for a couple of weeks. We've been out and about. We've been out and about. Wes has been up in Idaho. We went to Mexico for a cruise. Came back exhausted, and so we didn't do it last week. Wes was still gone. But here we are this week, and we've got a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of stuff to share. Like, what are some of those things that we're going to share today?
Well, for one, that guitar that you have in your hand right there.
That's right.
That is something to talk about, because that thing sounds really good. And so that's the new D'Angelico EXL-16 that just came out yesterday.
yesterday. Can you believe it? We already have one. Can you believe that? They're so nice to us.
Yeah.
And the matter of fact, we're going to have Justin here later on, right?
Yeah, he'll be joining us around I don't know, about 45 minutes or so.
And what is his position? Do you know?
He's an artist relations guy with D'Angelico.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
But he does all their promo stuff and a lot of marketing, and so I don't think there's too many people in the behind the scenes there, but
right, yeah,
he's one of the key players, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's great. He wonderful guy, a good player too. I saw him play the other day.
Yeah, we'll play a little video of him playing too, because in the video he shows because there's a floating pickup version of that new 16-inch. So We'll talk about all that coming up in a little bit.
Okay, good. So we're going to talk about, man, I had such a great time on the cruise. We're going to talk a little bit about that because I saw this band on the cruise, and I got to tell you about them. And then, before we went on the cruise, we went over to the Reagan Library, and they have the display of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Can you believe that? So they actually have them there, and you got to go. There they are. See those little bits and pieces down there? That's the Dead Sea Scrolls. And believe it or not, they can only be out for so long and then they got to put them away because even though they're under dark lighting, they got to rotate them and stuff so they don't deteriorate more. It's amazing the small writing on these things are, how little they are. But they had a couple of the clay jars that they were stored in there. They also had a replica of the oldest document of the Ten Commandments there. It was a wonderful display. And all of these artifacts from, before Christ and after. It's crazy how old some of this stuff is, and it's very interesting. We had a wonderful time. Spent about 2 hours in that library. So if you get a chance to go to that, make sure you do, because it's a once in a lifetime to even be in the presence of something this old, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the Reagan Library is a wonderful, wonderful place to go. It's great. So we're going to talk about some heritage guitars as well. And so we'll do that in a little bit. By the way, I wanted to tell you the song that I just played. It's this, A Night in Tunisia. And I think it's a Dizzy Gillespie song. I could be wrong. So it's a cool little tune that goes from some kind of altered A7 or E7 sharp 11, whatever E flat 7 sharp 11 to D minor. And then it has a very common bridge that is in many songs. And I always get them mixed up, but many songs have the same bridge. And it's got this little tail section. We've used the song at the camp, which, by the way, camp's coming up. I call it the camp. It's not a camp. It's a resort, and it's a workshop.
Yeah, it's coming up in June.
Where do you want to? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, do you like talk about things, but then you don't
Elaborate.
Follow through on people who don't know what it is? I mean,
okay, let's.
So it is the Yosemite Jazz Guitar and Bass Workshop, and it's taking place from June 22nd to June 27th. And there's still time to get a slot for sure. Someone just signed up this morning. Someone signed up yesterday. So space is limited. But it has everything you need to know. Go to guitarcollege.com/Yosemite. There's a full video right here of that you can watch, and see how it all goes down, what it's like. It's see the rooms and everything you get to do during the day. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, a lot of excitement for our next event there. And get more information, guitarcollege.com.
Yeah. And I see some of the guys that are going to be here are going to be at the camp are on the chat here.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, like there's 3, what are the songs you guys are doing? So each group, it's divided into groups based on your skill level. And then each group works on 3 songs throughout the 5 days.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple. We're going to do Oh Lady Be Good. And then what is, you put me on a spot. Green Dolphin Street is one. Gosh, Wes, you're going to have to go to the list there on the webpage. Boy, the mind is a terrible thing, man. You think it knows everything, and then it forgets.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, Mom, you could put them in the chat or something like that. I don't know where to find them.
Okay.
But yeah. But anyway, yeah. It's and then there's like a live concert at the end that you get to play at this wine bar. It's pretty cool. So.
It's fun. You have the time of your life. It's 5 days, just guitar, nothing else. No TVs. There is internet if you need it. But it's all about hanging, making friends, playing music, and eating. A lot of eating involved. And afterwards, there's a lot of happy times in the Koopman room.
Yeah, the big party every night. It's fun. It's a cool.
It's a wonderful hang.
Cool time. You guys would have a blast for sure. Let's say hi to who's here. Cool Cat, first one to chime in there. James McNamara, how's it going, James? Down in Texas. Gordon in Birmingham, how's it going, Gordon? David Bronson over in Utah this time. Hey, David. Big Steve in Olympia. Barkful. How's it going? Tom in Connecticut. Jim Rolfe. He says, welcome back, Kirby. Kirby must be in here somewhere.
What's up?
Great opener, says Gordon. And Joel Henderson's here. Hey, Joel, how's it going, man? I haven't seen you in a bit. El Guitaro, how's it going, buddy? He says, just purchased a loud box micro 40 watt from Fishman and is suitable for jazz guitar amp for fairly clean output. 40 watt is loud for me. So,
yeah, those are nice little amps. You can't beat them.
Yeah, Locke says, great tune for the kickoff. How's it going, Locke? Barkful says, do you need to learn music theory to play this style of guitar?
Yes. Don't let anybody bullshit you. You do need to know theory.
Or can you intuit it over time? I mean, you could. It's just a long time, and probably a very much of a struggle.
You know what? Let me tell you something about guitar players. If you don't learn music theory, you make up your own theory, and you know, because you look at the guitar and you see patterns, and then you say, well, if I have this chord, I can play this. I don't know what it is, but I can play it, and it sounds okay, and so therefore I can do it here, you know. And so you end up making up your own theory, and you don't really get the full benefit of it because you don't know music theory. Anybody that says you don't need to learn that, I believe, is taking you down the wrong path. End of story.
Gotcha. Let's see. And Barkful just bought the Sire Larry Carlton, the T7 FM. So
all right.
Must be getting into jazz, man. There's definitely stuff we could help you out with.
Is that the 335?
Yeah, that's one? the skinnier thing.
Yeah, a guy had a good friend of mine brought one to the Jazz Fest, and I got to play it, and I thought it was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd like to see their new. They have a wider one now, I guess, that they just came out with not that long ago. Anyway, Don's here from Maine. What's up, Don? Butch Bowles. How's it going, Butch? Larry Keel he says he loves his XL EXL-1, but it's the older, larger. They're great jazz guitars. Let's see. Don Spain says hello from the Dead Sea of Kansas. There you go. How's it going, Don? Good to see you. Andrew in New Jersey. What's up, Andrew? Let's see. Trying to get through all these. Daryl Miller. Hey, Rich. Daryl Miller from New Jersey. Did you see the new Heritage 717 guitar? Oh my God, $13,000. We are going to talk about that in a little bit, Daryl. Human Element. How's it going? Pat Evans.
Pat, what's up, buddy?
Beautiful Uptown Fresno represented.
Uptown Fresno.
And our favorite guy in Tennessee, Mark Larkins. What's up, buddy?
Mark, what's
Full
happening?
schedule of gigs through September. Dang, man. That's all summer. You're booked solid.
Yeah.
That's cool, Mark. That's awesome.
You must be doing something right.
Gordon says, no theory equals stuck in pentatonic land forever. Well, because that's like the first chunk of theory that you learn, and it's the only thing you have to hold on to. So you just, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because learning the pentatonic scale technically would be theory.
Sure, yeah. Theory, all right. What is music theory? The identification of sound. Okay, if you think about it that way, it becomes a little more appealing. All right, now, so there's essential music theory. Music theory is essential. So don't look at it as like a big task. Oh, God, I got to go. It's like, it's actually quite fun, but it's the identification of sound. And so don't you want to be able to identify sounds? Of course. So there's music theory, if you will. Okay. I'm sorry, Wes, to interrupt.
Mike Brandenberger's here. He's over in Dallas. He's got a 335 style Sire. Says he loves it. And then
cool.
Danielle, speaking of thin lines, just got a new Godin 5th Avenue thin line Kingpin P90. Only 5 pounds.
Wow.
That's sweet. That's something new, I guess, Danielle? Wasn't aware of that. That's awesome. We need to get one of those Godins. Those are made in Canada. Let's see, and then Lanny Hargrove, last guy to pop in here for now.
Hey, Lanny.
So anyway, let's talk about those. Some of the guitar. You have a new guitar for sale.
I do.
Can you remember what it is? Come on, buddy, you got this.
I do. Is that the Golden Eagle?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a new guitar for sale. It's a Golden Eagle with the floating humbucker. There has been a a tone control added. This thing is mint city. And we'll do a deep dive on it next week. But we wanted to show it off. The other Sweet 16 is gone. And by the way, James, I have a check in the mail to you. That guitar is gone, and the guy loves it who bought it. So we hope to find a new home for that Golden Eagle as well. And then we'll mess around with that. And
then you have a new Heritage 575 here that is on sale.
Yes, it is. You know what? We took that to a couple of shows and stuff, and so I decided I think I could mark it down and not conflict with the rules of engagement from Heritage. Since it is a demo model, but it's a very nice demo model. So what do you have that on sale for?
$37.99. I think they're normally, $44.99?
Yeah.
So
that's a substantial save.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brand new. And so you have that one with you, right?
Yes.
It's up in the top
it's right
corner there.
There it is.
We'll bust that out a little bit later. And
yes.
And then speaking of the 575s, man, what are they doing? They got some crazy stuff coming out.
They really do. And you know what? We got to get a hold of Pete Farmer because we need to talk to that boy. look at this. I ordered this.
These pictures are terrible, by the way.
They are terrible.
They sent them to us, but
They are. That is a 575 ebony. Okay, it's nitro's finish with P90s, and it's got the inlays, block inlays, as well as a little different emblem in the headstock. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see that. It's from their custom shop, and so it looks to me they're pumping out some custom guitars. That particular guitar, they also have that other one that you showed right there. Now that is just a highly flamed top with a brown finish. And so that they call that their custom core. But I like this 575 with the P90s. I think that's going to be really interesting guitar. So I ordered one, and we'll see what it's all about. And I also, if for anybody who's interested, they have another 575. I don't know if do you have the pictures of the white one? Look at this thing. It's white spruce. So it's a highly
cool.
Bleached wood. I don't know what you would call. I don't know how they get it so dang white. But it's a spruce top, mahogany neck, obviously. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it is so white. And I'm interested to see what that is going to look like in 10 years, how that is going to age. I think it's going to be pretty neat. Now, I didn't order one of those, but I thought I'd just show you guys in case you want one. You let me know.
yeah.
We'll get you
Well,
one.
I mean, that with that white one, God, even if it's just rare. You're not going to
Super
find
rare.
it anywhere. So
Same with that ebony one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that one's probably even more rare since it's got the P90s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, if you guys are interested in any of those, let us know because we can grab one.
Well, I had a fella call me yesterday or the day before and wanted an Eagle Classic. So I don't have one. And so I got a hold of the company, and they said they have one. And so I emailed him. His name's JD. I emailed him and said, hey, we got one of those. And you want it? And, oh, yeah, I want it. And I gave him a real good price. And as I wrote him back, he said, well, we actually have two. So I actually asked, I'm getting the two, one for the JD and one for stock. So we're going to be getting this in. You can't beat these guitars with a stick. I suppose you could with a stick, but they're gorgeous guitars. And you want an L5? Well, it's staring you in the face right there. So anyway.
And then the final note on the Heritage is I believe their new.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen this yet, this is their new
717.
And
so it's the solid woods, but yeah, and you can't zoom in on those, huh?
no, look at that.
Oh, look, yeah.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
wow,
that's
cool looking.
That's nice. It's
$13,000 though. Let's see. I think there's a video of Henry playing it.
Oh yeah, Henry Johnson playing it.
Let's see if it will play.
For 40 years now. They were such great luthiers. They were the oldest luthiers in the United States. Quite naturally,
Henry was the first.
I wanted more than a Heritage guitar.
Endorsee at Heritage.
Hey man, let's do a little blues. Yeah. I got one I wrote yesterday.
Go for it.
Here we go.
When you get a guitar that has Heritage name on it, you know what to expect. There's a certain amount of quality and standard. And Heritage has maintained that standard over all these years. This is a new one.
It's a pretty snazzy
This is
video
called
they got
7
here.
seconds.
Yeah,
And
boy,
they
they're
did-
stepping up their game, aren't
First of all,
they?
this finish is new.
Well,
It's a
they
beautiful
hopefully. I mean, they should be if they're
And then
charging
there's
this
a new
much for
headstock.
a guitar.
They are making
But
their own
anyway.
pickups now.
So there you go. You can
So,
check
yeah.
out that video, the rest of that video for yourself.
So they're making their own pickups too. Now they've never done that. Well, I take that back. They have done that in the past, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
thought that doesn't that Golden Eagle have the Heritage pickup on it?
Yeah. Yes, it does. I don't know exactly about that pickup, but for instance, on all their 575s and their Golden Eagles, they usually use Seth Lovers. And then they're also using, back in the day, they were using Shallers. They were taking, Rendell Wall would take those Shaller pickups and I think rewind them or put different magnets, do something different to them. And then they became the Howard Rendell Wall pickup, which I really like, kind of a dark sounding pickup. Anyway, info.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful guitars. Wonderful guitars.
And then the Cool Cats asks where's the Heritage Custom Shop located?
Kalamazoo, it's in the old Gibson factory.
Right.
It's just right alongside the old everything else. When we went back to the factory, that factory was, is the old Gibson factory, and it's huge. And, they were using maybe 1/8 of that factory for Heritage. It's, this place is big. And so they got room to do stuff. But, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so 13 grand.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy for that.
Obviously, they're not making many.
Right.
So there's that. What are they going to make? Maybe 25, maybe, who knows? We'll have to ask Pete one of these days. Maybe he'll join us today.
Yeah. Well, we could have Henry join us too.
Henry, yeah.
That's who we
As a matter
should.
of fact, Wayne Goines called me and said, I'm going to talk to Henry about him coming to the Jazz Fest. And so that'd be cool.
Todd Richmond just jumped in here. Hey, Todd, how's it going, man?
Oh, what's up, man?
And he says music theory is not rocket surgery. Learn some and stand on the shoulders of giants or giant steps.
Yeah, I have this course. It's called Theory for the Road, and you can do it in your car if you wanted to. And that was the premise for it, because it's all memorization and doing mind games and theory games in your mind and stuff. So I called it Theory for the Road, and so I was promoting it one time at a guitar show, and this guy came up and we're talking, and I said, it's not rocket science. And he says, well, I'm a rocket scientist. And he says, it's harder. I said, come on, no way. Anyway, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Let's see. Tony Cook just popped in. Hey, Tony. How's it going, man?
Tony was the winner of the Hendrickson amplifier at the Jazz Fest.
Yeah, one of the winners. We gave 2 of those away. Let's see, we're gonna have the details and stuff for the Jazz Fest. Hopefully, all buttoned up on the website and ready to sell tickets and stuff in the next couple weeks. But yeah, it looks like we got the dates, same venue. It's gonna be great. We got more rooms this time, so yeah, put it on your calendar now. It's March 22nd, I think. And then Dawn asks, anyone else have problems with blackish discoloration bleeding into nitro finish guitars? Not sure if it's from clothing or sweat or deodorant or what, where you put your arm over the guitar.
Yes, yes, right here, it's very common that this finish right here dulls and turns ugly. And if it's from your skin, man. here. So I never play the guitar with a short sleeve shirt. Never. Because of that. And so when you're practicing, you can always make sure you put a cloth there or something. Plus it's sticky. Once your arm is on here and your body temperature is, 98.7, and you're heating that up right there, and yeah, it just colors it. Absolutely. So yeah, don't get your bear skin. Not that you're a bear, but don't put your arm on there without having a piece of cloth or a long sleeve shirt. And matter of fact, Chet Atkins, right, on his guitars, he had a little almost, pick guard type material put there so it wouldn't do that. So yeah. Make sure you do that. You don't put your bare arm on that guitar there. On the poly finishes, I don't think it's a problem. You got like a Ibanez or something, it ain't gonna matter. But on the more expensive nitro guitars, yeah, you want to make sure you do that.
Speed 2K said, "Hey, can I ask a question about electric guitars?" Yeah, go for it. I'm sure someone here
electric
can help you out. There's a lot of guitar guys right in this chat. So yeah, fire away, Speed 2K. All right, you want to play another tune on that thing? I thought that thing sounded fantastic.
I was shocked at the tone of this guitar.
And again, this is the brand new D'Angelico EXL-16.
Yeah.
So it's a 16-inch version of the EXL-1.
That's correct. It's 1/11/16, maybe a little bit more, but not quite 3/4 inch. Right here on the nut. It's got a nice neck profile. Wonderful frets, ebony fretboard. Mounted pickup. I like the mounted pickups, and the reason I do is because it's a lot easier to swap them out if you want to change pickups. Which, by the way, Bartolini sent us 4 pickups. Have you been in contact with them since we got those? Okay. And so we're going to be messing around with those. I think I might put one of those in the Herbellist. Okay, enough of that. You've got your tone controls right here, not inhibiting the top. And it's pretty light. I was surprised when I walked out of the house with this 17-inch. That 17-inch is a lot heavier than this 16-inch. So I don't know what they got going on with this guitar. What is, other than the size, I don't know why it sounds so much better. I don't know, it's just...
Well, that's why we're going to have Justin on here to give us the rundown on it.
I mean, it's got a beautiful tone. And I was just, what the hell's going on here? So anyway, I ordered another one. I've got one of these on order. They just came out with them.
Yesterday,
Yesterday, and I think he said they only had about 30 of these.
Yeah, I would imagine they when the EXL-1 came out with the new design, they were out of those within a month,
Right. So yeah, and these are what do they list for? $18.99?
Yeah, $18.99. So it's got a lot of the same features as the EXL-1. But the size is obviously the big factor there. But Graphtec nuts, Grover tuners. You put your custom strings on there, right?
I did.
What other work did you do to it?
Nothing.
And then we're also playing it through a Mackie mixing board, so there's no amp.
Yeah.
25-inch scale, 12-inch radius on the fingerboard.
Is it 12?
That's what it says.
It says 12. Huh?
Yeah, and then that's about it. So the USA, let's see. Oh, this is for the humbucker. So they also make a floating pickup version of this guitar as well.
Right, yeah.
But sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
You want to play another tune on it? So that's a Seymour Duncan DA59 is that pickup full humbucker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. What is in this one over here, Wes?
I believe it's the same one, but I'll have to look at that.
Let's see.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, that thing sounds nice. Pretty sounding.
It's a pretty sounding guitar.
How much of the size do you notice that a lot? Like, you know?
Well, I like 17-inch guitars. You know, I've always played 16-inch. And then, but then I, got into the 17-inches like the L5s and Tal Farlows and what have you, So I like that. One thing about 17-inch is the guitar neck is a little closer to you because it's up a little higher. But for some reason, this thing just really feels super good. I don't want to sound like I'm shocked, but I kind of am. It's really a nice guitar. Now the spacing, I've gotten so used to the string spacing of the smaller scale, Birdland nut, which is 5/8, my 68L5 is 5/8, so I've gotten used to that spacing, and tempted to cut a new nut with this and just hang out with it a little while and see how I like it. But I think it's one of the nicer guitars, especially in this price range. It's really nice. So I ordered another one just the same color as this. This color is beautiful.
Yeah, that amaretto burst is a popular finish for sure. They love that.
Yeah.
But speaking of the finishes, as I had mentioned, so this like the EXL1, it comes in the humbucker version, which you have, but also the a floater version as well.
Right.
So I'm gonna play this video here that gives us a little taste of the floater, and this is Justin playing here from D'Angelico, and he'll join us in just a couple minutes, so check this out.
All right, so what I want to do is start by playing a tune called I'm Confessing That I Love You on this amber finish. And on the first A section, you're going to mostly hear the close mic on the guitar, so you can really get a feel for the acoustic warmth that this instrument has. On the second A section, you're going to hear just a ribbon mic on a Supro Ambassador. And then on the B section, you're going to hear a blend of both. So now I've switched to this Amaretto Burst with this full-sized Seymour Duncan DA59. And what I'm going to do is...
All right.
Well, there.
Oh, there we go. There's Justin.
Oh, hey, Justin. What's happening,
How are
man?
you?
Good.
Not much. Yeah.
So
How about you?
We're doing good, man. We're doing really good. Do you see this guitar I'm playing?
It looks good on you.
You know, it
Yeah.
matches my eyes.
Well, I'm actually colorblind, believe it or not, so...
Oh, really? Well, that explains some of the finishes.
Exactly. No, I don't come up with the finishes, but I appreciate that. I mean, they're it's always funny when my opinion comes about finishes at the company. They're like, "You're colorblind. You can't, you know."
Yeah.
You're no, it's they're beautiful. It's a beautiful guitar, and I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. All right. So I was commenting on, I kind of feel like of the guitars that I've played of the D'Angelico line that has the mounted pickup, this is probably the nicest sounding one. Why is that?
You know, I think it has a lot of the things that have worked in a lot of the other guitars. You know, kind of just like you mentioned the scale length. Like I love the slightly shorter scale length on an Archtop.
Mm-hmm.
The ebony fingerboard, the actual dimensions of the neck, which is something that, you know, has taken a few years to really hone in on what we like. Just the way that the that Seymour Duncan 59 on there. I think it's such a, I love that pickup because it's such a neutral. I feel like it's the perfect thing to like build on top of, if that makes sense. It's not too biased. It's like almost like a perfect blank canvas that you could then kind of, alter whatever you do. If you put pedals with it, if you just play it acoustically, dig in more, play lighter. And that's why I think this guitar really, brings together a lot of the things we've learned about, designing Archtops, and then down to the construction itself.
Yeah, well, it's paid off. I've noticed. Do you feel that the bracing on this? I don't know if you're. It feels the guitar is much lighter than the 17-inch, by a lot. It seems like. So I was just wondering: is the top thinner? Is the bracing less wood or something?
Yeah, we've been working. We've been working pretty hard on trying to make the laminate as thin as possible, and really now that guitar is parallel braced, which all of the newer D'Angelicos are, but it's been we've really been trying to make the tops as thin as possible, but still having the durability. And so I think if you see D'Angelicos over the years, as the years progress, we've gotten better and better at making the tops thinner, but still being able to not have any QC problems with that. Because if you make a top too thin, I mean, it will sound great, but then it doesn't hold up over time.
Exactly.
And so it's been able to do it, but do it in a way that it still maintains the durability that people want when you're traveling or you're playing different gigs. And so I've always found that, even as the years have gone on, that we've been able to more successfully make those tops thinner.
Yeah. Well, it makes a difference. And even the bracing wood, I don't know if it's smaller pieces or however that works. But I do have a question on your floaters. Is it the same bracing or is it an X brace on the floaters?
It's the same bracing. Traditionally, D'Angelico used an X brace, which is cool. Not a lot of people know that. He did do stuff that was parallel braced. We actually are doing parallel bracing because I think on a guitar like this, you still get more volume out of it. And I think that's what I want. I think the X bracing, I personally prefer the X bracing, in more kind of boutique builds and things like that, where it's really voiced for that thing. But on a general level, I find that the parallel bracing really lets the acoustic tone be very present. Even if you're using that as just on the couch and not amplifying it at all, especially on the floating pickups when you don't have any, which makes it even lighter and more kind of resonant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. So it's the same neck, I believe, right, as on the 17-inch, same wood and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We spec out, the necks are the necks across the Archtop, especially in recent years, have all be very similar. But something I've just noticed personally is like you can spec a neck the same way, but that work to make a neck is still, a lot of that's hand done. Like there's not a machine that can really do that. So at our factory, so even a fraction of a millimeter difference can make the neck feel different. And even if it's we spec it, though it's I believe it's 20 millimeters on the first fret and 22 on the 12th. We've been experimenting with a little fatter necks recently too on certain things, but even if it's like a tiny bit less or a tiny bit more, that's why there's still a lot of individualism per guitar, which is what I still really like. I think that's part of that's how a guitar should be. Everyone should kind of speak a little differently, but still kind of be meant to
within the tolerance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Speaking of the factory thing, one of our viewers, Lachlan, was asking, do you know what factory you're using in Korea?
Yeah, we work with World Music in Korea, and they've been a fantastic partner of ours for, gosh, like at least since I've been at the company. I mean, maybe almost 10 years now. We've been, and we've we send a lot of our people. We work with them really closely. It's been a great partnership, and we've really been able to refine these designs with them.
Yeah, but they do wonderful work.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of that, obviously with all the, like, you're kind of an insider. Is there any worry about like all this tariff stuff coming around that these guitars might cost more, or like, do you know any, makers in China that are really scared, Eastman, or, have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, I've heard whispers of things. I think it's important. We have dealt with different tariff situations over the years, and I think you don't want to like freak out once you get these announced, because things change as they have.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. One day it's different.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
I think on an industry wide, when the tariffs went out on China, I think a few years ago, like in the COVID era, those initial ones, a lot of manufacturers started moving out of China on different instruments, and we weren't doing a ton in China, but I think you see a lot of the industry have moved to other places a lot, and so. In terms of other brands, I think it was too early to tell what's really going on with that. I'm not sure yet how it's going to affect the industry or not. But it's very interesting to say the least. And, I have my own kind of like thoughts about it. But I think you got to just give these things time to kind of flesh out and see how things go.
And I've heard Korea is the first to go to the table to want to make a deal. So I don't think we have any worries.
Yeah. I think we're pretty optimistic. We're not derailing any plans or anything like that, and
Yeah.
I also had one quick question too about like on this new XL16. What is kind of like when you guys do launch a guitar like this? What does that look like in terms of inventory? I mean, are you guys? How many of these do you guys make and ship out, and kind of ballpark it type of situation?
That's a great question. I forget what the amount. We like to. I would have to look up the exact amount that we did for these. We have a full warehouse in Europe, the U.S., and then we work with lots of different distributors around in international markets like Japan and whatnot. So the different areas kind of get different amounts of inventory, and it's also we can't do that high a quantity because these guitars aren't that easy to build, and so there's only so many we could make per month or whatever. But the way that it normally works is we get several rounds of prototypes. A guitar, certain models I've worked on, even signature projects, I mean, it could take years to kind of like have a concept and, you make several rounds of prototypes and make those like, sometimes you get it to like the 10-yard line, and then it's like getting it to the end zone is like, that's the part that takes a year, or something to get.
Yeah.
And, so something like the XL16, the inspiration, I mean, we talked about it. There's this video of Norm's rare guitar video where Josh Smith is there and he's playing. D'Angelico didn't make that many 16-inch guitars, but he did make some. And one of them is actually this great Norm's rare guitar videos of Josh Smith. And this is years ago, we were like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? A 16-inch wide, D'Angelico that's kind of has a lot of the elements of the standard EXL-1 and so to see something like that come from concept to reality, there's probably at least 2 or 3 years later. Now you're sitting with the guitar. I mean, it's really, really cool. And
it takes.
So then we make the prototypes. We send it to artists for feedback. people like you to check it out online, and then the kind of main inventory comes in shortly thereafter.
Long process. Make it sounds so easy. Yeah. Hey, Justin, tell me about yourself a little bit, because you're a wonderful player. How'd you end up doing this thing with D'Angelico?
Oh, well, it's appreciate it. It's D'Angelico was always a passion of mine. My teacher was a guy named Joe Carbone, and he was this classic New York Italian jazz guitar player. Wore like, a suit and like a Borsalino hat, and drove like an 80s Saab, and listened to Sinatra all day. And he would taught at my high school, which I don't even know how he ended up there, but when I was like 15, he's like, Jay, I got to show you something. And he go to his office, and he opens the closet, and there's this 1936 D'Angelico style B. And I was just like, you're 15 years old and you play guitar like that. It's pretty powerful. So when that was always, he taught me all about the history of D'Angelico and D'Acquisto, and he was good friends with Jimmy D'Acquisto and whatnot. So then many years later, after I graduated from college, it was kind of right when D'Angelico was making their kind of stride. They had just come back, and I just I didn't think I was going to work in this industry, so I just wrote in. But I, showed up to they wanted to have an interview with me and learn more about me, and I like knew everything about the brand, and they're like, oh, guess we got to hire this kid, and years later, here I am. So, and my main job at the company is the artist partnership, the artist relations type of work. But we wear a lot of different hats.
Right, that's cool. That's very cool.
One of our viewers, Big Steve, is wondering, do you guys still have access to the original D'Angelico designs?
Yeah, I mean, we have a few in our own personal collection. We have the first ever D'Angelico. It's at our showroom. You can make an appointment if you're ever in town and check it out. But it's not like D'Angelico laid out his designs on like a paper and like, this is how you did it. Every single D'Angelico was custom to like, you're just, you kind of went to the shop, you kind of designed what you wanted, and he built it. And so we a lot of our shapes are based off of like molds from original D'Angelicos, and a lot of the kind of the way a lot of the appointments and things like that. But I talked to one of my good friends is Chris Mirabella, and Chris is probably definitely the number one person right now who's doing the restorations on the old D'Angelicos, and he's done a couple for me personally and the company, and he is just such a wealth of knowledge, and so he's really helped me personally with understanding kind of what makes a D'Angelico guitar so special, and he's just such a wealth of knowledge. So we've definitely, we've worked with and spoken to a lot of these like incredible luthiers that have really studied these instruments, from a restoration perspective, and that's been a great part of the gig.
Yeah, that's cool.
What do you have in your what do you got in your collection from D'Angelico?
I wish I had it here so I could show you guys, but I don't. But I bought a. Sometimes we get these, emails that come in of like, I have my grandfather's guitar, and it's been sitting in my attic and it's destroyed, but it's just like, this happened, and it was a 1949 D'Angelico XL. There's a video of it on our YouTube, where it's featured in a couple places, and I mean, the binding was corroded, the top was separating. The guitar hadn't had strings on it since the late 70s. And so wow. Chris, I was able to get it, I won't say how much, but a lot less than you would think, because it was the condition it was in. And I worked with Chris, and Chris worked on it for I think 2 years, and then I got it back. And it's been a dream ever since. I mean, they're vintage, it takes guitars like that. Sometimes it even takes a couple of years for it to even settle back into itself. So I have had to, do a bunch of fretwork on it, and, nutwork and bridge stuff, and we put a de-armament on there, and it comes together, and it's the best sounding guitar. It's like I can't even believe I have it. It's so incredible. Then I have a 34.
And what's your address? What's your address there? No, never mind.
But we have them at the showroom, so you can come in, and sometimes we have a few old DAs at the showroom, and we encourage people to come by and play them. And
where's the showroom? Is that New York City?
Yes, in 28th and 7th. Yeah.
Okay.
And you gotta come by. Our mutual friend Mark Whitfield is always in town, is always hanging out. So
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then I have another viewer question here is wondering what D'Angelico's best-selling models are. I'm guessing the 335 style.
yeah, I think it depends like what are available, like what we have in stock and what we're pushing. I think a lot of the times it's like a new, a lot of the times when you release a new model, that becomes the focus for that quarter or that time of year. But I think zoomed out, the EXL-1 and the DC, the double cutaway model, those are like the two that have really driven the brand. And believe it or not, our acoustics have actually do really well because they're more affordable. And I think a lot of people, they want the access to the D'Angelico brand. And I think you could get some of our most affordable acoustics are like, I think around $250, $300 in there. And I think a lot of people, they want that access, to a D'Angelico, but they don't, they don't want to spend over $1,000.
Well, that sure is cheap. Good grief.
And then I got a final question here. This is from me. When are you going to design the Rich Severson model?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm hearing about that for the first time. So, let's talk.
Okay. Wow.
I got to hear your idea. I'm sure you got ideas.
I do. Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, putting a neck on the other side.
Two necks.
Two necks. Yeah.
Double neck, 19-inch archtop.
Yeah, I got a bunch of ideas.
He does have some ideas that he's told me about that I'm like, dude, that is a really good idea. So,
I think it's something worth saying is like, we really are trying to more and more, especially in recent years, is like refocus a lot of D'Angelico on innovating, in the archtop category. I think you guys have covered the Soho, and we stumbled upon that as a success. I mean, I always knew people would like it, but it's a pretty niche guitar in terms of like, the design, but it's unique. And
Right.
I think through that design, we realized that people in the archtop community are looking for things that are different, and I still think there's a lot of room to innovate in the archtop category. I think and I think you're seeing a lot of boutique builders. I was just on the phone with a friend of mine who's a builder, and he's like selling like 13.5-inch archtops, and that's what seems to be what people want, over sometimes the big 17 and 18-inch stuff. People care more about their ergonomics and portability now and things like that. And I think there's a lot of uncharted territory in those categories, especially from some of the more, the bigger companies that are doing archtops. And I think, that's something where we have our eyes set on, I think, in the future, and continuing to innovate, and do cool stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll send you my designs.
Great. Name your price.
Okay. Well, this has really been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. That's cool. Any last questions from you guys out there?
but yeah, definitely. Thanks for hanging out, man. Makes it a little better having you here to talk about it. Give us a little more insight into it, and yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you what, when I picked up this guitar and plugged it in, I thought, holy cow, wait a minute now. Hold on here. Hold on now. You better, this, it's sweet.
It's got that sound, man. It definitely sounds like a big fat jazz box.
Yeah.
For being smaller.
Yeah.
I come from like the the 17-inch, classic, like that's what I love. Like, and I find that the 16-inch is just such a nice step, and like that 1-inch difference makes a difference, but you still get a lot of the projection and the kind of like boldness of a 17-inch, or 18-inch archtop, and you don't sacrifice really anything. And so we're all obsessed with it at the office, and it's great to hear you play it and say some nice things about it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And so I ordered another one in case one of our students wants to get it, and we'll see what happens. You got a few, don't you?
I think we should have some in stock. I mean, I think they literally would have just come in yesterday.
Yeah, they would.
I would say get it from Rich. Let him get his hands on it first, and
There you go.
Appreciate it, Justin.
That's what I would do, at least.
Right on, man. Cool. Well, yeah, we'll talk to you soon, Justin. I'll be emailing you a little bit later. And yeah, thanks again, brother.
Oh, yeah, and I wanted to also say thanks for your support of our Jazz Guitar Festival.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a big supporter of the festival, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I heard it went great, and
You have to come next year.
I know. I would love to.
Yeah, we even moved it back a couple weeks to space it out a little bit more between NAMM. So, hoping.
Yeah, the NAMM hangover, as I've gotten a little older, has lasted longer than I want. So, even though I love NAMM, but
I hear you. I hear that. All right, man.
Awesome.
But thank you again, Justin.
Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, peace.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah. He's definitely got some knowledge there.
Yeah, he does. And yeah, it's fascinating. D'Angelico, I wonder who got Ron Anthony's D'Angelico, Oh, I don't think he did. I was just curious. Well,
Let's play another tune on that thing.
Well, okay.
Oh, there you go.
I wanted to. All right, and then I've got some things to talk about, man. Big, important things. Okay, come on. Shall we do it with a track?
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear some bebop or something on there. But anyway, that was for you guys who didn't know or got maybe jumped in late. That was Justin Friedman from D'Angelico. He's their artist relations guy. A great wealth of information there. Glad we had him on. We'll definitely have him on again in the future. And yeah, that was really cool. Those guys at D'Angelico, man, it's cool that feel like they're one of the only companies trying to innovate and stuff, on a big level. But are you ready?
Well, it certainly isn't Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the Eastman too. I mean, Eastman
innovates, and so does Heritage.
Yeah, Heritage too. I mean, they're starting to do some stuff, but
sure.
And then like Danielle said, she got that Godin thin line, so they're within the last year. So that's, they're doing some stuff. So that's cool. It gives some hope to the jazz community. hold that note there at the end.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
John Smith said Ron Anthony's is owned by a U.S. guy in Japan. Mark's Archangels YouTube account.
Oh. Well, that's nice.
But yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in one of these D'Angelicos, you can get the number at guitarcollege.com/for-sale. And then, yeah.
Okay, so hey, yeah, let me know. Just give me a call. It should be in a week. I want to talk about our cruise, man.
Oh.
Yeah, so we went on the cruise to Mexico, right? Me and Gail. And Gail and I, we had a wonderful time. And the cruise goes down to Cabo San Lucas, then to Mazatlan. And something happened to the ship, and so it only had half speed. So we were supposed to go to Puerto Vallarta. It didn't go there, so it just kind of spent 3 days going back. Which I don't care. We've already been to those ports a couple of times, but I was thinking, we have done so well with Guitar College. It's such a lucrative business. I decided I'm going to go and buy me a Rolex. And so check out this watch that I bought. It's a Rolex watch, and I got it in Mexico. And the guy made me a real great deal. It was only 70,000 pennies. I actually got 3 for 70,000 pennies. $70. Is that the right math? Hope that's so maybe it's
7,000.
7,000 pennies. Anyway, I got 3 Rolex watches for that. Wow. And funny, I've bought those watches before. I went to my doctor one time, and he just couldn't take he kept asking me about my watch. He was like, wow, where'd you get that watch? Anyway. But the highlight of the cruise was this. I mean, besides being relaxing and all you can drink and all you can eat, was a group called the Beatle Experience Argentina. These guys, I've seen a lot of Beatle groups. These guys are hands down the best ones I've ever seen. And I couldn't believe it. They did we went to 4 of their shows. They had 2 of them in a little thing called the Cavern, which is made up like the Cavern in Liverpool. And so you're up close and personal, and the place is packed. It was packed 45 minutes before the show started, and that only held maybe 125 people, something like that. And the place was just packed, and it was so cool to see these guys up close, and they're playing live and singing. There was maybe a couple of things that were pre-recorded, but not much. And I tell you what, play that clip, man. Can you play that?
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. You think you lost your love? Well, I saw her yesterday. It's you she's thinking of. And she told me what to say. She said she loves you, and you know that can be bad. Yeah, she
Yeah, these guys, they got it down.
God, they were amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, they were really good. I tell you what, I was like a 13-year-old kid, man. Jeez, you know, I couldn't believe how good they were. And they just nailed every part. And the guy that impressed me the most was the Ringo guy. You know what? I think Gail has those pictures. We'll have to show them next week.
Did you talk to them?
Yeah. Afterwards, after the last show, I actually bought their CD, which was live off the mixing board, you know. So, yeah, you can hear you can hear them really good, and they did the hard songs too, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, they did like "Lucy in the Sky," they did "I Am the Walrus," they did "Strawberry Fields Forever."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Crazy. You know, some of the things, they did Penny Lane, and the guy played the piccolo trumpet solo on the on the organ and freaking nailed it. And I mean, maybe it was pre-recorded, I don't know, but it was, oh yeah.
They got the full get-ups, too. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, they had a Sgt. Pepper night. They had
He does sound a lot like John Lennon, though.
oh, he does, until he talks.
Right. So they all have Hispanic accents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a weird song to play. And you said the drummer was great, right?
The drummer was fantastic. He was, you know, because Ringo played a lot of stuff that, you know, you kind of take for granted, you know. He was, in the beginning, so underrated. And when people look back at what he did now, you realize, freaking guy was on it, man. And he had such a great feel. And this guy just copped it like it was nothing. And yeah, and the tones, the George Harrison guy, was really impressed with all of them. They were just so equally. The only thing I think they could have been better at is if the George Harrison guy was shorter. Now, I don't know how you'd fix that, but yeah, I went up and talked to him for a few minutes, you know, and just yeah, they were really, really cool. But I tell you, that made the whole cruise, and you know, the audience response was amazing. They might as well been the real Beatles, you know. I mean, they were like, people were going nuts, standing ovations and yelling and stuff, and it's really nice. So they did an Abbey Road night, they did a Hits night, they did a Sgt. Pepper night, and then they did an early Beatle night, and they were all over it like a duck on a June bug, man. They were really good. So I can't say enough about them. And they said, if you take video or pictures, please uploaded to our site on Facebook, the Beatles Experience Argentina. So if you've, they're all over YouTube and check them out. Really fun. And then one of the other nights we saw the Jersey Boys. And if you haven't ever seen, most of you have probably seen the movie, but I tell you what, the play is probably just as good, if not better. And these guys, the play was fantastic. They just another wonderful evening. So anyway, that was that. So we came back and we were exhausted. Slept for a couple days. We had a great time.
Tom was saying here, excellent Beatle band. There's a DVD series out now. A musicologist takes the Fab Four's tracks apart, showing and discussing how sounds were achieved, called Deconstructing the Beatles.
I'll have to see that.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool little documentary. Mm-hmm. That's a DVD series, huh? It's not on any streaming services, Tom, do you know of? And then Big Steve says, I went to a guitar workshop at a guitar shop in Seattle once that featured Lawrence Juber, Wings guitarist. I was the only one that showed and got to spend 2 hours with him.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Lawrence is a wonderful player. Wonderful player.
Yeah, that's sweet. Walk in and expecting a big old crowd and I'm just going to hang out with you for a couple hours.
Yeah, how nice, huh? Yeah, so anyway, that was that. Wonderful time. That was on the Norwegian Bliss, was the ship. Had a wonderful time. I like cruising. You don't have to... hardest thing is you're looking at the menu, figuring out what you want to eat. You know, so... We had a wonderful, wonderful food, and just a great time. I'm ready to go back.
Yeah. Todd says, I don't think they had a Roland like that back in 67.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Tom said, let's see, the guy, not sure about streaming. The guy was on PBS a few weeks ago, and I've ordered 4 of the episodes. Gotcha.
What
Yeah.
guy? What guy? The deconstructing.
Yeah, and then Andrew said, yeah, Deconstructing the Beatles airs on PBS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll come over to Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes PBS even puts their stuff on YouTube since it's not really a,
Right.
it's a non-profit type of thing. So, what do you want to get that heritage down? Maybe.
Yeah. Let's get the heritage down. I was trying to think of all the Beatles shows I've seen. I think the first one we saw was at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion back in 1975 or something like that. And the band was called Beatlemania, I believe. I could be wrong. But, they were really good. And then we've seen the Fab Four and a couple others, too. I've seen a lot of them. And I got to say, I think these guys from Argentina frickin' nailed it. Oh, I know what their funny joke was. Yeah, take pictures and a video and put it on our website because all our friends back at home in Argentina don't believe that we're actually doing this and making money. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid gig there too. How many nights a year are they playing?
I don't know, but they're still on that ship, so they're playing every night. I think they played every night except one.
Let's see. Niels Hannings Orsted. Where's my mouse? Peterson, jazz bassist, said the Beatles had no swing and had largely a message of peace about the Beatles. And then Lachlan, what's that red D'Angelico? So that's the EXL-1. That's their 17-inch in that special walnut finish. And then let's see, AI was involved in the making of the Beatles song Now and Then. Specifically, it was used to extract John Lennon's vocals from an old cassette tape demo he recorded in the late 70s. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was awesome. Is there a Penny Lane fingerstyle lesson?
Yes.
Yes, there is, WC Ray. We'll get a link in there for you.
Should be in there. Oh, your mom has that.
Let's see.
Nice. Sticky
So
notes.
the reason why we're, again, bringing up this Heritage 575 is because we just lowered the price from... They're brand new. They list at $44.99. This one is brand new, but we took it to the Central Coast Jazz Guitar Fest, and it was kind of like a demo guitar there. And so and then also another guitar show. So we're lowering that price there, $37.99. So this thing sounds fantastic.
Jeez. Why is it so damn sticky in here? I don't know why let's open this
Yeah.
door.
WC Ray, I put the Penny Lane link in there. Yeah, if you want to take a look at that. But again, yeah, that guitar sounds good.
yeah,
and then
I like the neck on this.
John Smith was asking about that new Heritage, the 717, and he was asking if we had seen it, and yeah, we were talking about it earlier. The $13,000 new Heritage.
Yeah. Yow.
Yep, built at the Parsons Street factory in Kalamazoo.
Well, they're all built there, but yeah.
I wish you could see a bit better, some,
Better pictures? Yeah.
or I mean, like Wish you could blow them up a little bit. The neck on this thing looks super good.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like the headstock better too.
You do?
I like. It looks more. It's not so long. The Heritage headstocks are so long. That one looks more normal.
Anyway, yeah. So this guitar, $575. You can't beat these. 24 and 3/4 inch scale length.
Mom was saying in here that you should play, or you should tell your Hofner Beetle bass case story.
Oh yeah, that's another Beatle group, huh? Yeah. All right, let's see. So, I was with Hofner for quite a while, and Rob, the rep, artist relation guy and salesman or whatever he was, good friend of mine, became good friends. He all of a sudden, so I would get guitars from him. All of a sudden I get a case in the mail from Hofner. I'm like, what is this? So I call him up and he says, "Oh, it's a mistake. Look at it, I'm coming down I'll be in your area. I'll meet you down in Fresno. You can give it to me then." I said, "Okay." So we arranged to meet at this hotel, and there just happens to be this oldies show across the street in the arena over there. And so Gail and I get in the elevator, and there's like two guys that look like the Beatles, so they're, they got the suit and the haircut and everything, and that it was a George and a Paul there, and so we get in the elevator and I'm like, wow, so what's going on, guys? We're doing a show over here, and I said, so which one's, so you look like Paul. Are you Paul? You playing the part of Paul? And he said, yeah. I said, do you want to meet the Hofner rep? He's in the hotel here. You want to meet him? I'll introduce you. Oh, I'd love to. I need a new case. I said, it's in my car. I got a case in my car. So I got him a Beatle case.
That's hilarious.
Do you think that's funny?
No.
Well, I think it's pretty ironic, don't you?
It's ironic, yes.
Yeah. It's not meant to be
coincidental.
Funny. Yes.
Let's see. Daniel says, hopefully this means Heritage will continue investing in new archtops and then maybe even an Ascent Plus import. But that might just be a pipe dream. Richard says, I like that. I get to see the eye candy and get an honest idea of their values. And Wes, good man, did what Mom said. Eddie Davis, I came in late. I don't know if you have mentioned this, just to let everyone know, you can see Bruce Foreman at Keys Jazz Club in SF once a month, usually with his trio. Next Thursday, he plays solo.
Oh, nice.
And then also in San Francisco right now, Ricardo Grilli is doing like a residency at Black Cat Jazz Club in San Francisco.
Oh,
it's a
really?
pretty cool spot, yeah.
Well, isn't he New York?
Yeah.
He's New York guy.
So, yeah, I think he's out here for a few weeks playing there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boy, we ought to get him over here for something.
I know. I was trying to get him, wanted to do an interview with him about it, but I couldn't line it up, or we didn't do one or live stream last week. But I emailed him again to see if he's still there. I think so. I'm trying to get him, but it's a cool spot. It was like right around the corner from my place there in San Francisco. Yeah, it was a good, cool little jazz.
Is that where
club.
they had? Did they have magic shows? No.
No.
Yeah, I'm a magician. I can turn a car into a driveway. Now that's funny. When one time we had to go to the emergency room, take I think it was Amy, and they asked your occupation, and I told them, and came back, and I was looking at the paperwork, said I was a magician. I guess I couldn't pronounce magician. This thing sounds nice, doesn't it? Should we play something up on this?
For sure.
Okay. And then
Anybody got any requests?
We're
out
going to
there?
do a lesson after this.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's got sound, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good. Gordon and Richard are saying they want to hear Caliente.
Really? Two requests for Caliente?
Yeah.
How nice. Thank you. Well, let's play it on this 17-inch since we haven't heard from that yet.
Right. So this is the D'Angelico Excel EXL-1, 17-inch. This is what the 16-inch model is designed after. So this is the full-scale big boy in the walnut finished, which is somewhat rare. Pretty rare, actually. You're probably not going to ever find that finish. But yeah, really solid guitar. Same price, $18.99. All these guitars have your custom gauge strings on them. If you're wondering what those are, it is these right here. It's a custom gauge 48, 38, 28, 20, 15, 13.
Hike.
Go to guitarcollege.com/strings if you want to order a set. And just go here, fill out the little thing, and we'll get you out a set. And it's not going through an amp, through a Mackie mixing board.
You know, I'm going to have to get we're going to buy a new air conditioner for this place.
Yeah, it's pretty toasty. Getting there. It's not even hot yet either.
I know.
Either that or, gosh, I have to do it earlier.
Yeah, it's 6 in the morning.
Right?
Not a bad idea.
Let's see.
not a
WC
bad
Ray
idea,
says
Wes.
Rich is correct. The Jose Rolex is the best looking $19 watch out there. I actually had one that lasted 90 days. Great score. Nice.
I had one that lasted at least a year. Although the back of this fell off when I was at the, I don't know, one day, all of a sudden the back starts rattling around.
Yeah, OC, if you are gonna get one of those Excel 16s, get it from us, because it comes with a setup and then a free subscription to our Guitar College library, so you get some extra perks there. So let us know if you're gonna get one. Call us.
Call. Don't be afraid. You can call me. What was it going to play? Was it-
Caliente.
Oh. Okay, here it comes.
All right, get ready, Richard. Caliente coming up.
Wow.
Get your bass. There you go, Gordon and Richard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Daddy-O. Let's do this lesson.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right. What I'd like to talk about is something so simple, yet it is so useful. And here's how we're going to approach it. Do you remember we talked about a scale is comprised of 2 tetrachords? Yes. A tetrachord is 4 notes, right? And usually it's up to a 4th above. Now, a trichord is 3 notes. So within a scale, there are groups of 3s. And they're major, minor, or in other words, a major trichord would look like this. So there's major trichord on the root, 4 and 5 chord. There's minor trichords on the root, on the second, or the supertonic, and on the submediate, the 6th. And there's I like to call it modal, based off the 3 and the 7. So I could play a tune, A minor, let's say against an A minor. That's the key of G. So I could play the tritones, the trichords, 3 notes of consecutive notes within the key. Okay, but that's not what the lesson is about. What the lesson is about is dichord, Dichord. I was trying to, that's what I always thought it was called, but I wanted to be sure about that. And there's not too much information about this because it's so ridiculously simple. However, so powerful. In the key of C, so in other words, in the key of C, we have a whole step of a dichord off the root and off the second. Now, we have a half step off the third. Let's not talk about that yet. Let's go over just back to the root. And then it's also off the 4th, 5th, and 6th. All right, so let's say I have a C major 7 chord. And I do it off the 2nd and the 6th. You get the idea? So now my scale is reduced to just 2 notes. Now I could group them differently. I could go root and then 5th. Let's take the thirds, starting on the 3, and on the 7. Let's say I play a D minor chord, because here's a D minor chord, right? Let's play an A. Let's go back to C major 7, and well, let's go stay with the D minor, and let's go root and 5th. Whoops, I wanted. I could go up on one, down on the other one. Do you see how now the fretboard, these keys and scales are reduced just to simple die chords, if you will. And they're just adjacent notes. All right, here's let's go to the key of G, okay? So here's my 3rd, here's my 4th, my 5th, my 6th, the 7. So half step between the 7 and the 3. Here's an A minor chord. Here's the let's start on the root and the 5th. How about the root and the 6th, or the root and the 6th? Where's the 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A. So here's A, and then we're going to go up to the 3rd in a half step. Oh wait a minute, I'm in a key of C, a key of G, excuse me. Okay, so reducing scales to little two-note phrases, and then you put a few of them together, you get a continuous phrase. So it opens up the fretboard. It opens it up so you can see a key lies all across the fretboard. And that includes all the altered sounds, diminished sounds, everything can be boiled down to these die chords. So think about it. Think about it. That concludes today's lesson. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, we should probably start wrapping this thing up.
okay. Well, I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say, let's see. I have a Guild X170 waiting for a pick guard. Bartolini pickups are in. We're going to mess around with those. And I think we covered everything else on here. So we're good. I had to play it. It was on the list. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. And I don't know, do we have any previews for next week? I don't think we got any previews, do we?
No.
We're going to talk about that Golden Eagle. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Thank you.